Have you ever felt that inexplicable pull towards another soul? A connection that defies logic, a resonance so deep it feels like an ancient memory reawakened? We speak of love as a magical force, a bolt from the blue. But what if this magic isn't random? What if, beneath the surface of fleeting glances and shared laughter, a far more intricate and profound architecture is at play? Carl Jung, the visionary explorer of the human psyche, believed that our deepest attractions are rarely accidental. They are, in fact, echoes of our own soul, seeking completion, recognition, and evolution. We often believe we fall in love with someone for their charming smile, their intellect, their kindness. And while these qualities certainly draw us in, Jung compels us to look deeper. He suggests that the initial spark, the irresistible fascination, often ignites not because of what we consciously see in another, but because of what we unconsciously feel, or rather, what we lack and desperately seek. This brings us to Jung's first profound reason. You represent something they lack, something within themselves that is dormant, suppressed, or has never been allowed to fully live. Imagine a highly rational individual, meticulously organized, perhaps even rigid. Suddenly, they encounter someone wildly spontaneous, emotionally expressive, living life on impulse. The attraction can be overwhelming. It's not just admiration. It's a deep, unconscious resonance with a part of themselves that has been denied, their own capacity for chaos, joy, or unbridled passion. This phenomenon is what Jung called projection. We project these unlived aspects of ourselves onto another, seeing in them the potential we've suppressed. The danger here is subtle but potent. We fall in love not with the person standing before us, but with the reflection of our own inner potential, our own missing piece. If the individual fails to recognize that what they admire is a trait they themselves could cultivate, this admiration can morph into unhealthy dependence. The other person becomes a living symbol of their own unfulfilled desires. And when the human reality of the beloved inevitably surfaces, their flaws, their contradictions, their ordinary humanity, the idealized image shatters, and the love built on this illusion often crumbles. It's not the other person who changed. It's our projected fantasy that dissolved. Jung took this concept even further, diving into the primordial depths of the collective unconscious with his archetypes of the anima and animus. For Jung, every man carries within him an unconscious image of the feminine, his anima. This isn't just a preference for certain female qualities. It's a deep, often ancient psychological blueprint of what the feminine means to his soul, shaped by his earliest relationships and the collective wisdom of humanity. Conversely, every woman carries an unconscious image of the masculine, her animus. This leads us to Jung's second profound reason for falling in love. You awaken a powerful unconscious archetypal image they have carried within them. When we meet someone who seemingly fits this internal blueprint, not necessarily in physical appearance, but in essence, in their energetic signature, the attraction can be seismic. It feels like destiny, a soul recognition, a feeling of having known them forever. This isn't some cosmic coincidence. It's the psyche seeing its own ancient internal design reflected in another human being. The beloved becomes the living embodiment of their ideal anima or animus. Herein lies both the profound allure and the potential abyss. When someone falls in love with an inner image projected onto you, they are not truly seeing you. They are seeing a fantasy, a sacred ideal, a psychological construct that was often written long before you arrived. You become the canvas for their unconscious masterpiece. The connection feels immediate, irrational, even divine. But as soon as the real you begins to emerge, your flaws, your inconsistencies, your utterly human nature, the fantasy begins to crack. What once felt perfect now feels complicated. The illusion collapses under the weight of truth. This is why so many relationships born of intense passion eventually descend into chaos. They weren't built on mutual understanding, but on archetypal projection, an unconscious script trying to play itself out in the messy reality of two individual lives. No human being, however extraordinary, can live up to an archetype forever. But Jung did not see this shattering of illusion as a failure. On the contrary, he viewed it as an essential, often painful, part of our profound journey towards wholeness, the process of individuation. Love in this context is not merely an emotional experience. It is a powerful tool of transformation. Every person we fall for, every intense connection, becomes a mirror. What we see in them and what we project onto them is ultimately what we need to see within ourselves. Some lovers reflect our hidden potential, igniting the courage we never knew we possessed. Others expose our deepest fears, forcing us to confront our insecurities. Some awaken a vibrant creativity, while others, paradoxically, shatter old structures, making space for new ones. All of them, however, serve the same profound psychological purpose: to accelerate our journey towards becoming fully integrated, fully authentic individuals. When someone falls in love with you, they may genuinely believe they are seeing something magical in you. And they are, but the truest magic lies in what you awaken inside them. You are not just a person. You are a symbol, a turning point, a psychological invitation for their soul to evolve. And the same is true in reverse for you. The people you fall in love with, especially those who profoundly shake you, who change your trajectory, or even those who break your heart, are not random. They are carriers of meaning, catalysts for your own inner evolution. Some come to awaken what's dormant within you. Some come to teach you lessons you've persistently refused to learn. Others simply come to show you your own reflection, sometimes distorted, sometimes piercingly clear, depending on your readiness to truly see. Not all these relationships are meant to last forever. Some are designed to disrupt, to break patterns, to initiate profound shifts. Jung called these synchronistic events, deeply meaningful occurrences that, while not causally linked, resonate with an internal readiness for change. So why do people truly fall in love with you? Because you either reflect something they desperately need to integrate within themselves, or you activate a powerful, ancient inner image they have forgotten or denied. In both cases, the love, in its deepest sense, isn't ultimately about you. It's about the self striving to evolve, to become more complete. The profound wisdom here is this: once you truly understand these patterns, your own projections, your inner figures, your recurring attractions, you stop looking for someone to complete you. Instead, you begin the sacred work of becoming whole within yourself. And from that place of inner completion, love transforms. It's no longer based on fantasy, unconscious need, or idealized projections. It becomes real, grounded, and profoundly free. Because in the end, the deepest love is not about finding the perfect person to fill your emptiness. It's about awakening the magnificent, multifaceted parts of yourself that have been waiting to be seen, embraced, and expressed. You don't just fall in love with others. You fall more deeply in love with the ever-unfolding version of yourself they help you uncover.